Welcome to our podcast. Today, we're diving into a topic many English learners face: building confidence when speaking English. Speaking confidently can make a big difference in how others understand you and how you feel about your skills. Ready to explore some strategies?
Absolutely, Jennifer. Feeling nervous when speaking a new language is natural, but with the right tools and mindset, anyone can grow more confident. We'll talk about practical tips and mindset shifts that can help. Let's get started.
One of the best ways to build confidence is through practice. The more you speak, the more comfortable you'll feel. Try speaking out loud to yourself at home or even record your voice to hear how you sound. It helps you get used to your own voice in English.
That's a great tip, Jennifer, and remember, mistakes are part of learning. Don't worry about being perfect, focus on expressing your ideas. Every time you try, you're making progress and building up your comfort level with English.
Another helpful strategy is to expand your vocabulary. When you know a variety of words, you can express yourself better and feel more prepared for different situations. Try learning new words each day and practice using them in sentences.
Yes, Jennifer, and learning phrases instead of just single words can also boost confidence. Phrases give you ready-made expressions which can help you sound more fluent and natural. It's like having tools ready in your toolbox.
Exactly, Daniel. Another tip is to slow down when you speak. Speaking slowly not only helps with pronunciation, but also gives you more time to think. Pausing briefly between sentences can make you sound more confident.
That's a great point, and breathing deeply before speaking can help calm any nervousness. Taking a moment to relax before you speak can make your voice sound steadier and clearer, which helps build confidence over time.
Another tip is to listen to native speakers, whether it's through podcasts, movies, or conversations. Pay attention to how they structure sentences and use intonation. This can help you understand natural speech patterns and make you feel more confident in your own speech.
Exactly, Jennifer. When we listen to native speakers, we pick up on the rhythm of the language. Mimicking what you hear is a great way to practice. Repeat after them and try to match their tone and flow.
And if possible, find a speaking partner. Practicing with someone else can reduce nervousness over time. It could be a friend, a teacher, or even a language partner online. Practicing regularly with someone can make speaking feel more natural.
That's so true, and giving yourself a positive reminder before speaking, like saying "I can do this" or "I'm improving every day," can make a big difference. A positive mindset encourages you to try without the fear of being judged.
Absolutely. Visualization also works wonders. Imagine yourself speaking confidently in English. Picture yourself having a smooth, comfortable conversation. This mental practice can help you feel more prepared when you actually speak.
Visualization is powerful, and remember, every conversation is a chance to improve. Even if you feel nervous, each attempt makes speaking a little easier and a little more familiar. Building confidence takes time, so be kind to yourself.
Recording your progress is another great idea. Keep a journal or record audio of yourself speaking. As you improve, listen to past recordings. You'll notice how far you've come. This can be a big confidence booster.
Yes, recognizing your growth is key to staying motivated. Set small, achievable goals like speaking for 5 minutes daily or having a short conversation with someone. Each goal you accomplish builds your confidence.
And don't forget, enjoying the process is important too. Learning a language is a journey. Celebrate small victories along the way, whether it's understanding a new phrase or finishing a conversation. Each step matters.
So true, Jennifer, and let's remind our listeners that they're not alone. Millions of people are learning English and facing similar challenges. Joining language communities can help you feel supported and inspired.
Yes, connecting with others is great. You can share experiences, ask for tips, and get encouragement. The more you engage with others, the more your confidence grows, and it reminds you that you're part of a supportive learning journey.
Exactly, and remember, confidence grows with each attempt. So even if you feel nervous, give yourself credit for trying. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel, and soon you'll notice your confidence shining through.
Another way to boost confidence is by focusing on topics you enjoy. Talking about hobbies, favorite movies, or travel experiences can make speaking English feel more natural. When we talk about things we love, it's easier to express ourselves without worrying too much.
Absolutely, Jennifer. It is a great idea to practice with familiar topics first. When you know what you want to say, the words flow better. Then, as you feel more comfortable, you can branch out into new topics and keep building your skills step by step.
Another strategy is to create simple outlines before speaking. If you know you'll talk about something, jot down a few key points. This helps you stay focused and makes speaking smoother. Over time, it can help you feel more prepared in various conversations.
Yes, creating outlines is a great tip. It helps us structure our thoughts, especially when we're learning new languages. And as we become more confident, we can start speaking without outlines because we already know what we want to say.
Also, practicing with short, easy conversations can be effective. Starting with phrases like, "How was your day?" or "What did you do this weekend?" is simple but helps build confidence. Each conversation builds a foundation for more complex topics.
Right, simple conversations help reduce pressure, especially when you're just getting started. You get used to the flow of speaking, and as you improve, you'll feel ready to discuss deeper topics. It's all about gradual progress.
And don't underestimate the power of body language. Standing tall, making eye contact, and smiling can make you feel more confident. It also helps you connect better with others. How we present ourselves can influence how we feel about speaking.
Yes, Jennifer, body language is so helpful. When we look confident, we start to feel confident too. And people respond positively when we seem relaxed. It creates a friendly atmosphere, which makes it easier to speak naturally.
Another idea is to set a specific goal for your English practice. For example, try to have a short conversation every day or learn 3 new words each week. Small goals are achievable and can add up to big improvements over time.
That's a great suggestion. Setting goals gives us something to aim for. When we reach these goals, it boosts our confidence and shows us that we're progressing. Small steps really do lead to long-term success.
Also, reading out loud is helpful. Whether it's a book, a news article, or even social media posts, reading out loud helps you practice pronunciation and get used to forming sentences. It's a simple exercise that can make a big difference.
Yes, reading aloud is fantastic. It lets us hear our voice in English, which makes speaking feel more familiar. Plus, it's a low-pressure way to practice without needing someone else around. You can do it anytime, anywhere.
Another tip is to watch yourself speak in a mirror. This might feel strange at first, but it helps with pronunciation and expressions. You can see how you look and work on sounding clear and confident, which boosts your self-assurance over time.
Absolutely, Jennifer. Watching ourselves helps us become more aware of how we speak. It's like giving ourselves feedback, which is super useful. We can adjust our facial expressions and see what looks and feels confident to us.
And let's not forget, reviewing your progress is important. Recording your voice at different stages and comparing them can be motivating. Hearing improvement over time reminds us of how far we've come and encourages us to keep going.
That's a fantastic point. Reviewing progress shows us that even if we don't notice changes daily, we're actually growing. It's all part of the journey, and every bit of progress counts toward becoming a more confident speaker.
One final strategy is to immerse yourself in English. Surround yourself with the language through music, shows, or podcasts. When we're surrounded by English, it becomes more familiar, and speaking it starts to feel more natural.
Yes, Jennifer, exposure to English is key. Listening to native speakers helps us understand different accents and tones. It's a way to learn naturally and gain confidence from hearing the language used in real-life situations.
And if you can, travel or join an English-speaking community. Being in an environment where English is spoken regularly encourages you to practice without thinking too much about it. Immersion is one of the best ways to build confidence.
Absolutely, even if travel isn't possible, joining online groups where people speak English can be helpful. It's all about finding ways to practice regularly and enjoy the learning experience. Each interaction adds to our skills and confidence.
Another key element is self-compassion. Remind yourself that learning a language is a process, and perfection isn't the goal. Every effort you make is valuable, and even if there are mistakes, they're part of learning and growing.
Exactly, Jennifer, being kind to ourselves is so important. When we're patient and positive, we make more progress. Confidence comes from accepting that it's okay to be a learner. Embracing the journey makes us feel more comfortable speaking.
And remember, celebrate your successes, big or small. Whether it's completing a conversation or learning a new phrase, acknowledging these wins helps you stay motivated and see your growth. Confidence grows with each success.
That's a great reminder. Each achievement, no matter the size, brings us closer to fluency. By focusing on the progress we make, we reinforce our belief in ourselves. With each step, we're building a stronger foundation for speaking confidently.
Another tip is to practice thinking in English. If we can shift from translating in our heads, we start speaking more smoothly. By imagining responses or narrating our day in English, we make it easier to speak when it's time to actually communicate.
Yes, thinking in English is so helpful. It cuts down on hesitation because we're already forming sentences in the language. Over time, it feels more natural to respond without translating, making conversations smoother and building our confidence.
Also, finding a speaking partner can be very beneficial. Whether it's a friend, a teacher, or even an online language partner, practicing with someone else helps us get comfortable with real conversations. It makes speaking more dynamic and less intimidating.
Absolutely. A partner gives us feedback and lets us practice natural conversation flow. When we have regular speaking sessions, it feels like a safe space to try out new phrases and ideas. It is a confidence booster and makes learning enjoyable.
Recording yourself speaking is another effective tool. Listen to your voice, notice areas for improvement, and celebrate the parts you're doing well in. Hearing yourself speak allows you to track progress and adjust for better clarity and fluency.
Great idea, Jennifer. Listening to our recordings helps us become more aware of pronunciation and phrasing. Over time, we notice positive changes, which motivates us to keep practicing. It's a personal feedback loop that boosts confidence.
And do not worry about making mistakes. They're actually useful for learning. When we embrace mistakes as part of the process, we free ourselves from perfectionism and feel more relaxed. Mistakes lead to growth and stronger communication skills.
So true. Mistakes are like stepping stones. When we learn from them, we make improvements. Speaking with confidence is not about being perfect, but about being comfortable. The more we accept this, the more naturally we'll communicate.
Another helpful practice is to vary your vocabulary. Learning synonyms and different ways to express ideas adds to our confidence. When we have options in how we speak, it feels easier to communicate effectively, even in different situations.
Exactly, Jennifer. Having a range of words to choose from is empowering. It gives us flexibility in conversation, and if we forget a word, we can often find a similar one. Expanding vocabulary is a huge confidence booster in any language.
Reading regularly also helps with vocabulary and sentence structure. When we read, we see how words are used in context. This exposure builds familiarity with the language, making it easier to recall phrases and use them in our conversations.
Reading does wonders for language skills. It fills our minds with new phrases and expressions. And because we see these words often, they stick people with us. Then, when we speak, it feels natural to use them, which boosts our confidence.
Trying new conversation starters is another good idea. Instead of just asking how are you, try what was the best part of your day. Or what have you been working on lately? It keeps conversations fresh and shows that you're comfortable with variety.
Yes, unique questions make conversations engaging. People respond with more interest, which makes speaking feel rewarding. Plus, it keeps us curious and flexible, both important parts of confident speaking.
And let's remember, everyone's English journey is unique. Comparing ourselves to others can be discouraging. Instead, focus on personal growth and enjoy each step. Each small improvement is worth celebrating and contributes to building lasting confidence.
Right, our journey is our own, and each person learns at a different pace. When we focus on our progress, we feel more motivated. Every effort we make is valuable, and confidence builds naturally as we recognize our unique strengths.
Creating daily speaking routines can also help. Set aside time each day for a few minutes of English practice, even if it's just speaking to yourself. Consistency builds comfort and turns English into a natural part of our daily lives.
That's a great point, Jennifer. Making English part of our routine makes it feel familiar, like any other daily activity. Little by little, it stops feeling like practice and starts feeling like just another way we communicate.
Another tip is to watch videos or listen to podcasts in English. Hearing native speakers helps us pick up natural rhythms and tones. It also gives us examples of how to express ourselves in different situations, adding to our speaking toolkit.
Yes, Jennifer, listening to real conversations helps us hear the flow of English and the way people phrase ideas. Over time, we start to mirror that style, which makes us sound more natural and confident when we speak ourselves.
And remember to take breaks when needed. Learning English is a journey, and it's okay to pause and reflect on what you've learned. This helps keep your mind fresh and allows time to process new information, which is crucial for building confidence.
Absolutely. Breaks are essential. They prevent us from feeling overwhelmed and keep us motivated. By giving ourselves time to relax, we come back with more energy and a renewed sense of confidence in our abilities.
Lastly, don't be afraid to use English in your everyday life, even in small ways. Ordering food, asking for directions, or joining a casual conversation helps us apply what we've learned. Real-life practice builds confidence faster than anything else.
Exactly. Everyday situations are perfect for testing our skills. Real-life experiences give us instant feedback and help us grow. With each successful interaction, we gain more confidence, making speaking English feel natural.
Another strategy is to create an English journal. Writing about your day or goals in English gives you a chance to practice vocabulary and phrasing. It's a private, low-pressure way to improve and become more comfortable with expressing yourself.
That's a great idea, Jennifer. Writing is a powerful tool for building confidence. It helps us find the right words and organize our thoughts. And over time, it's easier to speak as we've already practiced expressing similar ideas on paper.
Trying out different accents or expressions can also be fun and helpful. Mimicking native speakers lets us explore pronunciation and helps us feel more comfortable with the language. It's a lighthearted way to develop a natural speaking style.
Absolutely. Experimenting with accents can make us feel more engaged and less self-conscious. We don't need to sound perfect, but trying out new sounds adds variety and boosts confidence. Plus, it gives us a better understanding of tone and emphasis.
And when speaking, take time to pause if needed. Pauses are natural in conversation and allow us to gather our thoughts. Rushing often causes stress, so taking a moment to breathe keeps us calm and focused, which improves how we come across.
Yes, pauses are so helpful. It's better to slow down and think rather than rush. Taking our time makes us feel in control, which increases confidence. And listeners often appreciate clear, thoughtful speech, so there's no need to worry about speed.
Engaging with English-speaking media. like movies or podcasts, is another way to build confidence. When we immerse ourselves in real-life language, it becomes easier to pick up on expressions and understand conversational flow.
Immersing ourselves in English media is so valuable. We learn common phrases, tones, and cultural cues. Each time we watch or listen, we get a little more familiar with the language. This helps us speak more confidently and feel part of the conversation.
Joining a language group or class can also make a difference. In a group setting, everyone is learning together, which removes pressure. Practicing in front of others helps us get comfortable and feel supported, making speaking English a lot less scary.
Exactly, Jennifer. A group offers a supportive space where we can share experiences and get feedback. Speaking in front of others becomes easier with practice. Plus, it's a great way to make friends and build our confidence as we improve.
And remember, focus on the message rather than on perfection. When we think more about what we're saying and less about making mistakes, we feel more relaxed. English is a tool for communication, and communication doesn't have to be flawless.
Very true. Jennifer, when we prioritize getting our point across, we stay more natural. Mistakes happen, but they don't matter as much as sharing our thoughts. Confidence comes when we let go of perfection and focus on connecting with others.
Setting small, achievable goals can also help us track progress. Whether it's speaking for 5 minutes a day or learning one new phrase, these goals make learning manageable. Reaching them gives a sense of accomplishment, which builds confidence.
Absolutely. Small goals keep us motivated. Every time we meet a goal, we feel successful, which pushes us to keep going. These little wins add up, and soon we realize that we're speaking English with more confidence than we ever imagined.
Lastly, celebrate each improvement, no matter how small. Every step in your journey is important. Recognizing these moments of growth reinforces our efforts and shows us that we're on the right path. This positivity fuels our confidence.
I agree. Jennifer, celebrating progress makes learning enjoyable. Each time we acknowledge our growth, we feel proud and motivated. Confidence grows when we appreciate our journey, knowing that every effort brings us closer to our goals.
Another technique is using affirmations. Simple phrases like "I can speak English confidently" repeated daily can shift our mindset. This positivity helps reduce fear and build a stronger self-image as English speakers, which directly boosts confidence over time.
Affirmations are powerful. Jennifer, when we repeat positive statements, our mind starts to believe them. It is like training our thoughts to support our goals. By reminding ourselves daily that we are improving, we naturally feel more confident and motivated.
Learning phrases we enjoy using can make speaking English feel more personal. When we have favorite phrases or expressions, it feels natural to use them, which helps us feel connected to the language and gives a sense of ownership.
I like that idea, Jennifer. When we use phrases that feel like ours, we feel more at ease. It also makes the language feel like a part of who we are. This comfort with specific phrases can lead to a stronger overall confidence in speaking English.
Sometimes recording ourselves speaking can be helpful. Listening back lets us hear what sounds good and where we could improve. It's a great tool for noticing progress and also for adjusting areas we want to work on.
Yes, recording our voice is a great exercise. It helps us become aware of how we sound. Hearing our improvements is motivating, and even if we notice areas to improve, it's a valuable step towards speaking with confidence.
It is also beneficial to remind ourselves of why we're learning English. Whether it is for a job, travel, or personal growth, remembering our purpose gives us motivation. Knowing our why makes each step feel more meaningful and boosts our drive to keep improving.
Absolutely, Jennifer. When we keep our goals in mind, they guide us forward. Every practice session feels like progress towards something important. This focus not only makes learning more enjoyable, but also keeps our confidence strong because we know why it matters.
Another approach is practicing English in small, everyday conversations. Saying hello or thank you in English, even if it is just a few words, builds confidence over time. These small interactions make using English a natural part of our day.
Exactly, Jennifer. Small daily interactions make a huge difference. Using English in casual moments, like ordering coffee or chatting with friends, helps us get comfortable. These easy, real-world practices add up and gradually make us more fluent and confident.
And when learning new words, try to use them in sentences right away. Applying new vocabulary helps solidify our knowledge and boosts confidence. When we know how to use a word, it feels like a new skill we can confidently share.
That is true, Jennifer. Using new words in real sentences helps them stick in our mind. It also allows us to practice, so we are ready to use them in conversations. Each time we apply new vocabulary, we gain a bit more confidence in our language abilities.
Attending social events or joining online English groups is another way to practice. Being part of a group where English is spoken gives us chances to participate and learn from others. It is a supportive way to build confidence in speaking.
Yes, being in a group is incredibly supportive. We get to see how others speak, and we also feel encouraged to share. Practicing in a group makes us realize that everyone is learning, which eases our fears and increases our comfort in using English.
Lastly, focusing on clear pronunciation rather than speed can make speaking easier. When we prioritize clear speech, it reduces the pressure to speak fast. This clarity makes us sound more confident and gives us time to think about what we want to say.
Definitely, Jennifer. Clear pronunciation is key to effective communication. Taking our time allows us to articulate better, which helps us feel in control. When we focus on being clear rather than fast, it naturally builds confidence and understanding.
Another method to build confidence is preparing topics in advance. If we know we'll talk about work or travel, we can practice related vocabulary and phrases. Having familiar words ready makes us feel more prepared and confident when the topic comes up.
That is a great idea, Jennifer. Preparing in advance gives us a head start. When we know some phrases or words, we do not feel caught off guard. It reduces anxiety because we have a plan, which makes speaking feel smoother and more comfortable.
Using pauses thoughtfully is also helpful. It is natural to pause while thinking, and it gives us time to choose our words. Pausing keeps us calm and allows us to focus on clear communication instead of rushing, which helps us feel more in control.
Absolutely, Jennifer. Pausing is powerful. It lets us gather our thoughts without pressure. We often feel we must speak quickly, but taking small pauses actually makes us sound more confident and gives our listeners time to follow along easily.
Reading aloud is another great practice. It improves fluency and pronunciation without the pressure of conversation. Reading our favorite book or article in English helps us become familiar with the language's sounds, which boosts our speaking confidence.
Yes, reading aloud is very effective. We practice without the worrying of immediate response. Plus, it builds a natural rhythm and flow in our speech. Familiarizing ourselves with the sound and structure of English makes us feel more at ease when we actually speak.
And sometimes, using hand gestures can help convey our message. Gestures add clarity to our words and give us a sense of ease. It feels natural and allows us to connect better with others, making us feel more confident and expressive.
That is a great tip, Jennifer. Gestures really do make communication feel complete. They show our listeners that we are engaged, and they help us feel more relaxed. Using gestures can actually help our words flow more smoothly, boosting our overall confidence.
Another powerful way to gain confidence is by celebrating small wins. Whether it's using a new word or having a short conversation, recognizing these achievements keeps us motivated. Each small success reminds us that we are making real progress.
I agree, Jennifer. Small victories are motivating. Each time we notice progress, it encourages us to keep going. Celebrating these steps, no matter how small, builds a positive mindset. It's like adding to our confidence one step at a time.
Practicing with a language buddy is also helpful. When we practice with someone learning English too, we feel less pressured. It becomes a supportive environment where we can try new things, make mistakes, and build confidence together.
Yes, Jennifer. A language buddy makes learning feel like a team effort. It's a safe space where we can experiment without fear. Sharing our progress and challenges with someone else helps us grow and reminds us that we are not alone in this journey.
It is also helpful to focus on understanding instead of perfection. Mistakes are part of learning. When we shift our mindset to focus on clear communication rather than perfect grammar, we relax, which naturally builds our confidence.
Exactly, Jennifer. Perfection isn't necessary to communicate effectively. When we stop worrying about small mistakes, we feel more relaxed and open to speaking. It's more about the message we convey than the exact words, which really boosts our confidence.
Finally, setting realistic goals is key. Instead of expecting instant fluency, setting smaller, achievable goals, like learning 5 new words a week, keeps us motivated. Reaching these goals steadily increases our confidence and keeps us excited about learning.
That is so true, Jennifer. Setting small, achievable goals gives us a sense of accomplishment. When we meet these goals, we feel proud and it reminds us that we are on the right path. Each step builds our confidence and moves us closer to our bigger goals.
Another tip is to repeat useful phrases. By memorizing and practicing common phrases, we always have something ready to say. Knowing these go-to phrases gives us confidence in conversation because we don't have to search for words in the moment.
That's true, Jennifer. Memorizing phrases like "could you repeat that?" or "I'm not sure but" gives us confidence. It's like having a toolkit ready to go, which helps us avoid feeling stuck. These phrases make speaking feel smoother and more natural.
Also, learning to paraphrase can be useful. If we don't know the exact word, we can describe it in simpler terms. Paraphrasing gives us options and takes away the pressure to know every word. It's a great skill that increases our flexibility in conversations.
Exactly, Jennifer. Paraphrasing allows us to keep the conversation going, even if we're unsure about a word. It's a useful backup plan that keeps us from feeling blocked. Knowing we can explain things in different ways builds our confidence.
We can also set aside time to speak English out loud every day. Even a few minutes a day builds a routine. Daily practice keeps us engaged and allows us to work through any difficulties in a relaxed setting, so we improve little by little.
Yes, Jennifer. Making it a habit is key. When we practice regularly, it becomes a normal part of our day. This consistency gradually makes us more comfortable. Daily practice means each day we're moving closer to our goal of confident speaking.
It's helpful to give ourselves time to respond thoughtfully too. There's no rush to answer immediately. Taking a moment to think lets us gather our thoughts and respond clearly, showing confidence. Rushing can lead to mistakes, so it's okay to pause.
That's right, Jennifer. Giving ourselves a second to think can make a big difference. It keeps us calm and focused on our message. When we feel calm, we communicate better and others are more likely to understand us, which in turn builds our confidence.
Another technique for building confidence is to focus on small wins. Celebrating each step, even the small improvements, keeps us motivated. If we manage to speak clearly in one conversation or learn a new phrase, acknowledging these successes keeps us encouraged.
Exactly, Jennifer. Small wins are like stepping stones. They remind us that progress is happening, even if it feels slow. Recognizing these moments gives us a sense of achievement, making us more eager to keep learning and practicing.
We can also try mirror practice. By speaking to ourselves in front of a mirror, we build familiarity with our own voice and expressions in English. This helps us feel more natural and confident, especially when facing real conversations.
That's a good tip, Jennifer. Speaking in front of a mirror lets us see ourselves as others do. It boosts self-awareness, so we're not surprised by our own expressions. It's like rehearsing with ourselves, which prepares us for conversations with others.
Trying to join online language communities can help, too. There are many platforms where English learners connect and practice together. Talking with others in a supportive group can take away some of the fear, and it's a good way to make friends as well.
Absolutely. Jennifer, being part of a community reminds us that we're not alone. Seeing others working toward the same goal makes it feel less intimidating. It's a great way to stay inspired and to see that improvement is possible for everyone.
Another trick is to focus on the message, not the mistakes. When we concentrate on what we want to say instead of how perfectly we're saying it, we reduce anxiety. This shift in focus allows us to express ourselves with more ease and confidence.
Yes, Jennifer, by prioritizing the message, we remind ourselves that communication is the goal, not perfection. This mindset helps us relax and speak more naturally, making us sound confident and keeping the conversation flowing smoothly.
It can also help to set realistic goals. Instead of aiming to be fluent instantly, we can break down our goals. We might aim to improve our vocabulary or to practice speaking for 5 minutes a day. Smaller goals keep us focused and make confidence building achievable.
I agree, Jennifer. When we aim for small, reachable goals, it keeps us on track and motivated. Each time we reach one, we feel a sense of progress. These little steps add up over time and gradually bring us closer to becoming more confident speakers.
Another idea is to take deep breaths before speaking. It sounds simple, but calming our nerves with a deep breath can really help us focus. It gives us a moment to gather our thoughts and brings a sense of calm, which is great for boosting confidence.
Absolutely, Jennifer. Deep breathing can make a big difference. It slows down our thoughts and eases any nervousness. When we feel calm, we tend to speak more clearly and confidently, which helps in making a good impression.
Also, watching and learning from confident speakers is valuable. Observing how native or fluent speakers express themselves can give us ideas. Noticing their body language, intonation, and vocabulary helps us model our own speech in a confident way.
Yes, Jennifer, seeing confidence in action is inspiring. We can learn so much from watching how they pause, emphasize, and articulate over time. We start incorporating these elements into our own speaking style, making us feel more self-assured.
Finally, it's helpful to practice with people who encourage us. Supportive friends or family members make a difference. They allow us to experiment without judgment, creating a safe space to practice and build confidence.
I couldn't agree more. Jennifer, practicing in a supportive environment makes us feel comfortable to try, make mistakes, and improve. Knowing we have encouragement lets us focus on learning instead of feeling judged, which makes all the difference.
As we discuss building confidence, it's important to remember that everyone has their own pace. Some people may feel comfortable quickly, while others might take longer. Embracing our unique journey helps us stay focused and reduces pressure to perform.
That's a great point, Jennifer. Comparing ourselves to others can lead to frustration. Instead, we should celebrate our individual progress. Every small improvement counts and contributes to our overall confidence in speaking English. It's a personal journey.
Let's not forget the power of positive self-talk. Encouraging ourselves with affirmations can change our mindset. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," we can say, "I am improving every day." This simple shift can make a big impact on our confidence levels.
Absolutely, Jennifer. Positive self-talk reinforces our belief in our abilities. When we remind ourselves of our strengths and successes, we create a more supportive internal environment, which helps us face challenges with more assurance.
Finding fun ways to practice can also boost confidence. Engaging in games, role plays, or even singing in English can make learning enjoyable. When we have fun, we're more relaxed, and that relaxation translates to improved speaking skills.
That's a fantastic idea, Jennifer. Fun activities reduce the stress associated with learning. They help us focus less on making mistakes and more on enjoying the process. This joy in learning leads to greater confidence over time as we grow.
Additionally, recording ourselves speaking can be beneficial. Listening back allows us to hear our progress and identify areas to improve. It can be surprising to see how much we've learned, and it gives us an opportunity to celebrate our growth.
I completely agree, Jennifer. Self-assessment through recording is a powerful tool. It helps us become aware of our speaking habits and provides insight into how we can enhance our skills. It's also a great motivator to keep improving.
When we practice speaking, we should embrace mistakes as part of the learning process. Mistakes are not failures, they are opportunities to learn. Accepting that everyone makes mistakes can relieve the pressure and help us speak more freely.
That's so true, Jennifer. When we allow ourselves to make mistakes, we reduce the fear of judgment. Each mistake teaches us something valuable, and over time, we build resilience. This mindset shift can significantly boost our confidence in speaking.
It's also important to create a regular speaking routine. Setting aside time each week to practice speaking can help us become more comfortable. The more we practice, the more natural it becomes, leading to increased confidence over time.
Absolutely, Jennifer. Consistency is key in building confidence. By making speaking a regular part of our routine, we develop muscle memory for speaking English. It helps us feel more prepared and ready when we encounter real-life situations.
Joining local language meetups or conversation clubs can also be beneficial. Meeting people in person to practice English creates real-life experience and helps reduce anxiety. Speaking with others face-to-face builds practical skills and confidence simultaneously.
I couldn't agree more, Jennifer. Engaging in live conversations allows us to apply what we've learned in a supportive setting. These interactions improve our fluency while giving us the opportunity to connect with others who share similar goals.
Lastly, we should always remind ourselves of the reasons why we want to improve our English. Whether it's for career opportunities, travel, or personal growth, keeping these goals in mind helps fuel our motivation and confidence to speak.
Yes, Jennifer, our reasons for learning are powerful motivators. When we focus on our goals, we can channel that energy into our speaking practice. This connection between purpose and action can enhance our confidence significantly.
As we continue discussing confidence, let's talk about the importance of finding supportive communities. Surrounding ourselves with positive influences and people who encourage us can make a significant difference in our confidence levels when speaking.
That's a key point, Jennifer. Being part of a supportive group creates a safe space to practice speaking without fear of judgment. When we feel accepted, we are more willing to take risks and step out of our comfort zones, which helps us grow.
Another effective strategy is to watch English movies or series. Listening to native speakers in different contexts helps us pick up pronunciation, intonation, and expressions. This exposure can boost our confidence when trying to mimic those patterns.
Exactly, Jennifer. Observing how characters express themselves can inspire us. We can learn new phrases and even pick up cultural nuances that enrich our understanding. This kind of exposure makes speaking more natural and enjoyable.
Let's not forget about setting realistic goals. It's important to set achievable targets for our speaking practice. Celebrating small victories along the way helps us stay motivated and reinforces our belief in our speaking abilities.
That's right, Jennifer. Setting goals keeps us focused and gives us a sense of direction. Each time we reach a goal, whether it's having a longer conversation or using new vocabulary, we build momentum that fuels our confidence even further.
Practicing in front of a mirror can also help us become more aware of our body language. Seeing ourselves speak allows us to improve our gestures and expressions, which can make us feel more confident when communicating with others.
Absolutely. Body language plays a crucial role in communication. By practicing in front of a mirror, we can enhance our overall presence and expressiveness. This can significantly boost our confidence when speaking English in real-life situations.
Another useful technique is to create a personal vocabulary list. Writing down new words or phrases we want to use helps reinforce learning. The more familiar we are with the vocabulary, the more confident we will feel when incorporating it into conversations.
That's a fantastic suggestion, Jennifer. Regularly reviewing and using our vocabulary lists helps us internalize those words. It makes them easier to recall in conversations, allowing us to express ourselves more clearly and confidently.
Engaging in discussions on topics we're passionate about can also help. When we talk about subjects we love, we naturally feel more at ease. This enthusiasm translates into our speaking, making us more confident communicators.
I agree completely. Passionate discussions bring out our best. We can speak more fluidly and connect with others on a deeper level when we're genuinely interested in what we're saying. This energy boosts our confidence immensely.
Listening to English podcasts or audiobooks is another great way to build confidence. Hearing different speaking styles and vocabulary in context helps us understand how to apply what we've learned. It makes speaking feel more accessible.
That's so true. Jennifer, the more we immerse ourselves in English through listening, the more natural our speaking becomes. It also helps us become more aware of various accents and styles, further enhancing our confidence when we speak.
Lastly, let's talk about reflecting on our speaking experiences. After conversations, taking a moment to think about what went well and what we could improve helps us learn. This reflective practice reinforces our growth and builds confidence.
Exactly, Jennifer. Reflection allows us to celebrate our successes and identify areas for improvement. By focusing on what we did well, we cultivate a positive mindset, which boosts our confidence in future speaking opportunities.
To wrap up our discussion on building confidence, let's emphasize the importance of patience with ourselves. Learning a language is a journey that requires time and practice. Recognizing that it's okay to make mistakes helps reduce pressure when we speak.
Absolutely. Jennifer, we often forget that everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. Embracing our errors as part of the learning process can help us feel less anxious. It's about progress, not perfection, which encourages us to keep speaking.
Practicing daily can also lead to gradual improvements. Setting aside a little time each day to speak, whether through journaling or conversing with friends, reinforces our skills. Consistency is key to building long-term confidence.
Yes, and finding enjoyable ways to practice, like joining clubs or conversation groups, can make a big difference. Engaging in fun activities while speaking English keeps our motivation high and makes the learning process feel less daunting.
Connecting with language partners online is another great method. Sharing our learning experiences and practicing together can be incredibly helpful. It creates a supportive environment where we can encourage each other to improve.
Definitely, Jennifer. Language exchange platforms allow us to meet people from around the world. This not only helps us practice speaking, but also builds friendships, enriching our language learning journey with new perspectives.
We should also remind ourselves of our accomplishments, no matter how small. Keeping a record of our progress, such as noting new phrases we've learned or conversations we've had, can motivate us and remind us of how far we've come.
That's a powerful reminder. Jennifer, celebrating our achievements helps us maintain a positive outlook. When we acknowledge our growth, we boost our confidence and encourage ourselves to tackle even more challenging speaking situations.
As we conclude, let's emphasize the role of self-affirmation in building confidence. Positive self-talk can reshape our mindset. Telling ourselves that we can speak English well boosts our belief in our abilities when communicating.
Yes, self-affirmation is crucial, Jennifer. Instead of focusing on our doubts, we should remind ourselves of our strengths and the progress we've made. This practice can transform our attitude towards speaking and reduce anxiety.
Finding inspiration from successful English speakers can also help. Hearing stories of others who have overcome their challenges motivates us to keep going. It reminds us that we, too, can achieve our goals through dedication and effort.
Exactly. Stories of success remind us that confidence can be built over time. Seeing others thrive encourages us to persist, reinforcing the idea that we are all capable of speaking English fluently with practice and perseverance.
In addition to personal stories, we can find confidence through professional resources. Joining workshops or taking classes provides structured learning and expert guidance, helping us feel more equipped and confident in our speaking abilities.
That's a great point, Jennifer. Professional resources can offer us valuable techniques and feedback, allowing us to refine our skills. When we know we are learning from experts, we feel more prepared and confident in our speaking engagements.
Finally, let's remind ourselves that confidence is a skill we can develop. It takes time and practice, but with each conversation, we grow stronger. By using these strategies, we can become more confident English speakers and enjoy the journey.
Well said, Jennifer. Confidence in speaking is achievable for everyone. The key is to stay committed, keep practicing, and support each other along the way. Remember, we are all in this together, and we can succeed.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope you found these tips helpful for building your confidence when speaking English. Remember, it's all about practice and perseverance.
Absolutely. Keep pushing forward, and don't hesitate to celebrate your progress along the way. Until next time, happy speaking.
Take care, everyone.
See you next time.